assigning values to data structures. Now that these data structures are identified, the next step is to assign the values to the data structures themselves. So we're going to achieve this by importing and exporting data from these files. There are 4 ways we can import data, and then I'm going to tell you about another one as well. So you can import data from the 4 types of files: Excel files, Minitab, table, and CSV. In addition, there are another few external packages that allow you to import other types of data, even including SAS files. In addition to that, there are connections built in that can directly link R into a SQL database. So, looking at how these are done, now before using the sample data available in an Excel format, you need to import the data into R. If we want to import an Excel file into R, we need to first load the gdata package. As you can see from the #, that's commented out. That's not actually run or processed within R. It's a note for ourselves. But we're having to load that package, which is an external package, to base R. So we're pulling gdata from the CRAN repository using the library command. If we want to look at the documentation, we can use help read.xls, which will show all the information in regard to the XLS files. And then whatever the first sheet is within that XLS file, we can say read.xls mydata.xls. And that's if we name that first sheet mydata. We can specify this for any of the sheets as well. The other type of way to load an Excel file is through the Excel Connect. Again, that's another package. And the function there is called load workbook. Again, we're reading the mydata.xls sheet. And we are also creating a data frame. So as you can see, we're saying read worksheet from this loaded workbook week from sheet 1. Now, if you ever work with Minitab, it's another way to load data. So we'd use the function read.mtp to import sample data from a Minitab portable worksheet. And with this function, it will return a list of components in the Minitab worksheet. So here, we have to load the library foreign. If you want to look at the help file, you can use help read.mtp. And then again, we're creating a data frame called mydata, which is using the read.mtp function. And then in the quotations, it's reading the file name that you've specified. Now we can also work with text files. So a text file may not look quite like a data table because it's specified by blank characters or spaces or tabs. But for simplicity of use, here's an example of a table with 4 rows and 3 columns. So if we wanted to import that, all we have to use is the read.table function of our text file name. And again, what we're doing here is we're creating a data frame called mydata using the read.table function, and the mydata.text within quotations is the name of our text file. Lastly, and probably most commonly, you'd use something like a CSV file. Now, R allows data imports from a comma-separated values format as well. It may actually be one of the most common. And each cell inside such a data file is separated by a special character, usually a comma. So if you wanted to look at the help file, again, you could use help read.csv. And here, we're doing the exact same thing we've done before, right? We are creating a data frame called mydata equals read.csv, in quotations, the name of our file. And then we have this separate command called sep. And here we see sep equals comma, and that means it's a comma delimited file. But if you've ever saved CSV files or Excel files in a variety of ways, you can set the separation to be tabs or a variety of other types. So you want to make sure that the separation or the separator is specified explicitly here to match the way that the data is split within your CSV file. There's also 3 ways that we can export data. So once you've imported the data, cleaned it, visualized it, built a model, and transformed some of those variables and created new ones, you might want to export that. Well, we can do that through tables, Excel, and CSV files. So the way that we do this here, instead of read.table, we're using write.table. Mydata is the name of our data frame. We're specifying what we want to save it as, and then we're saying here the separator is tabs. That's that /t. If we wanted to save, export an Excel file, we have to load the library xlsx. So once that's loaded into R, or instead of the read command, we're using the write command. So write.xlsx, the data frame name, and what we're wanting to name the file that we're saving. Write.csv works the exact same way. We have the data frame, and then we're saving the file as mydata.csv.